Hello and a big virtual welcome to the RAF Museum London. This year we're marking Remembrance by asking you to share your voice. I would love if you could write your own poem on the theme of remembrance. This poem could be anything you want it to be about, from how remembrance makes you feel to the bravery of our pilots, or even what you imagine life was like during the war. Use your imagination. Write your poem, send it to us, and have the chance for your poem to be part of our remembrance this year. First things first, what is Remembrance? Remembrance Day is commemorated every year on the 11th of November, so that we can remember all of those that lost their lives during conflict, those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, their tours of duty. What is poetry? Poetry is a piece of writing that expresses your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. It can tell a story or describe a feeling. The most important thing is that it describes how you are feeling. Most of them have a few common features, such as, number 1, many poems have rhyming words such as fly and sky. Number 2, many poems use the repetition of sounds to create a rhythm and a pattern. Number 3, you can usually tell you're reading a poem based on how it looks. Many poems have short sentences and are wrote in stanzas. A poem can be anything you want it to be. Like I said, the most important thing is it describes how you feel. Many of those during the First World War and the Second World War used poetry to describe and express themselves. And through this poetry, we can learn what life was like for them and how they felt. Some of our most truthful accounts of war comes from poetry, as poems express your emotions in a way that videos and pictures can't. Can you imagine what life was like as a pilot of the RAF during the First World War or the Second World War? I'm stood here in front of our Spitfire. It's one of our famous, fantastic 4 planes that protected our skies during the Battle of Britain. Now, before you go and write your poem, I want you to imagine what life was like if you were flying this plane during war. I want you to close your eyes. Are they closed? I want you to imagine you're a member of the RAF. You're sat in the pilot's seat. You take hold of the steering wheel and you take off into the sky. You're flying through the sky. You're completely alone. You look around and all you can see is clouds. There's not another single plane in the sky. You fly to the left, you fly to the right, you fly to the left, you fly to the right. You're starting to feel tired now and hungry. You've been flying for hours and hours. No, you've got to stay awake and alert. The enemy could attack at any moment. Is the enemy below you? Is the enemy above you? Suddenly you see a plane in the sky, the enemy is close. You look around and the sky is full of planes. You fly faster and faster. You must defeat the enemy and protect your country. Keep your eyes closed. What can you see? Planes, explosions, the steering wheel. What can you hear? The sound of your clock ticking, your heartbeat. Explosions, guns. What can you smell? Smoke? Sweat? How do you feel? Okay, open your eyes. I bet it was really exciting to be a member of the RAF during war, like one big, giant adventure. But I bet it was pretty scary as well. They had no idea whether they'd win the war or not, or when the next attack would be, or if they'd ever see their family again. I bet they were really homesick, but they were incredibly brave. They were all extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. Okay, so now we know what remembrance is, what poetry is, and we've imagined what it would have been like to be an RAF pilot during the war. Use your imagination and good luck writing your poetry. I can't wait to read it. Goodbye.